Alright, what's going on guys? Welcome back to Cigars of London. Today I'm going to be smoking the Montecristo No.2. Now this was a nice little find in the local tobacconist. This is one of the older Montecristos, and what I mean by that is that it's got the old band on. You'll be able to see from the B-roll it doesn't have the new band with the gold, what would you call it? Embossed, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the gold embossed on the band. This is the old one. It's not vintage. It's from 2006 to 2012 from what I can find online. I can't give you any specific numbers because not even the shop knew how old these were, but it's been very well kept. The foot of the cigar is, there's just a few little chips out of it. Maybe you'll be able to see if the camera wants to pick it up. Maybe not, but it's really nothing to complain about. Very excited for this. If you guys are familiar with these videos, you'll know that the last Monty No.2 that I had was on New Year's a couple of years ago, and it was one of the newer ones. It obviously hadn't had any age on it, and it really made me feel sick, and I had to eat a lot of chocolate to kind of revive myself after that experience. So I'm excited to try one with a bit of age on. These used to be one of my all-time favorite cigars. You can get these for around 27 to 30 pounds. I know the price varies online compared to in store. I've paid up to 32, 35 pounds for one of these in London. But again, prices will vary online to in store. Let's go ahead and get this thing cut. I'm going to go for a V-cut today. I don't use this V-cut enough. It was kindly sent to us by a subscriber, and it's just a solid little accessory. Nice job. As you can see, nice little V-cut going on there. And let's go for a couple of dry draws on this cigar. I have to express my excitement for this stick. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Monty No.2 with any sort of age on. The dry draw is absolutely perfect. Flavours at the moment, very subtle. There's like a little bit of sweet earth there. And that's about all at the moment, just a very mild sweetness. Let's go ahead, get this thing toasted. And whilst I do this, I like the idea of you guys watching these videos whilst lighting one up yourself. I enjoy making these videos, and I like the idea of everyone lighting one up, relaxing whilst watching the review. Can't help but feel a little bit guilty about lighting up a cigar with some decent age on it. I almost wanted to leave it in the humidor for a few years. Alright, let's go for a first draw. Good body on the smoke. At the moment I'm getting some like cereal kind of musky flavours. And there is a ongoing peppery flavour on the aftertaste. Flavours on the retrohale are nice and light. They're not too offensive, they're not burning my nostrils, which is a good sign for me. Creeping down just slightly on one of the edges there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, probably just about. The aftertaste on this cigar is going and going and going, and that's something that I've found happen quite a lot when it comes to cigars with some age on. There was a time where I was handed a vintage cigar that someone was smoking, and they were just like, look, do you want to try this cigar? This was a few years ago, mind, but I took a couple of draws, and my goodness, the flavours from that thing were unlike anything I'd ever experienced. And I still remember to this day, 5-7 minutes after a couple of draws, you can still taste the cigar. It just goes on and on and on. It was really quite fascinating, and it's kind of reminded me of this cigar in terms of the flavours lasting as long as they are. Draw, perfect. Huge body on the smoke, as I mentioned earlier. So far, so good. Smoking really, really nicely. I have to say, this is a real treat to be able to smoke something with a few years on it. Typically with these reviews, we'll buy cigars online or buy them in a shop if we're passing by, and because the volume of sales that these shops are making, it's typically quite hard to get something with a few years on. So a lot of the time when we review a cigar, it's really quite new. So, you know, comparing this to a lot of the recent reviews that we've done, this is really quite something special, and I'm really enjoying it so far. What I'm going to do is give it a few minutes, smoke it down a couple of inches, and I'll touch base with you guys then. And this is why it pisses me off when we get comments on videos saying, you don't keep your cigars right, the humidity's wrong, you've got to leave it out for 90 days before you smoke it, and whatever other excuses people can come up with for us giving bad reviews. Because this thing, which is bought in a shop, which has some age, has been kept in the humidor with all of our other cigars, and it's smoking perfectly. I haven't touched it up, the ash is holding on nicely, the smoke output is great, flavours are right there, draw is amazing, it doesn't keep going out, it's perfect, it's absolutely perfect. There was a moment in time where I didn't touch this for about 5 minutes, came back to it and it was still lit. Absolutely flawless. I don't think they make them like this anymore. What I'm going to do, knock this ash off, because it did have a little bow in it, and we're going to go for a little relight. So far, flavours are still the same. It's remaining quite consistent as it was at the start. The strength isn't too bad for me at the moment compared to the last one that I had, that I mentioned at the start of the video. It's like light to medium in strength right now. And don't get me wrong, it's going to pick up. I'm aware of that. The room note of this cigar is just reminding me of JJ Fox in London. When you go up into the lounge and everyone's got their cigars lit that they've purchased from JJ Fox, and we all know how good their cigars are and how well they're kept. This has that same element. It's just got this nice sweet tobacco flavour. It's got this nice sweet tobacco smell in the air. It's not offensive, it's very aromatic, and I just can't say anything bad about this cigar at the moment. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I started to get some roasted nutty flavours, a little bit of chocolate, and that pepper remains at the back of my tongue on the aftertaste. All very pleasant so far. I'm getting an interesting cereal flavour still from this cigar. It's like this musky, dusty, nutty kind of flavour, which is reminding me of a cereal. There is a little bit of like manure in there as well, but it's mostly just like this sweet roasted nut coffee flavour. It's all going really, really well. Alright, as you can see, I'm right down to the band now, and I'm just about to slide it off. And what can I say? This has just been an absolute flawless experience. I wish Monty No. 2s were like this still. Maybe the newer No. 2s will be like this with a few years on them. Who knows? We will find out in good time. I'm going to continue smoking this down, and it might make you guys laugh. I don't know if I'm just a slow cigar smoker, but I've so far got an hour and 45 minutes out of this. So although it is, it is quite a lot of money for a Monty No. 2. As mentioned earlier, 27 to 30 pounds, depending on where you're shopping. But overall, for an experience this good, it's well worth the money. I think it's great. It's a great value stick. If you're after something that's a little bit special, maybe you've got an occasion, a birthday, celebration, a wedding or something like that, and you want a nice, long, sturdy cigar for afterwards, this is definitely something to consider. I'm not sure on the availability of Monty No. 2s at the moment with Age. I don't know if there's an online store where you can get them from, but if you can, and you can get one with the older band on it from 2006 to 2012, definitely go for it. It's one hell of a cigar. Absolutely flawless. Whilst I was enjoying this cigar, I did go out, made myself a coffee. That didn't last 2 minutes. Great pairing with this cigar. Also got some water here with me. In terms of the strength, surprisingly, this thing didn't hit me with too much strength at all. Medium at most. So if you're into your lighter to medium body cigars, this is one for you. I do have to elaborate on the fact that this does have age on it, so it would have mellowed out quite a lot compared to newer Monty No. 2s. The newer Montecristos that are coming out, I'm finding them to be very bitter, very strong, and I do think they need a few years on them before you go ahead and light one up. So everything I've said throughout this video, do take it with a pinch of salt, and please bear in mind this does have age. So don't go out, buy yourself a brand new Monty No. 2, smoke it and go, what was this guy talking about? It has age. This one has age. So it is mellow, it's calm, it's just packed full of flavour, and overall a 10 out of 10 experience. Very much enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.